Heather, welcome to our podcast, Overcomers Overcoming. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Heather, we're very interested in your story. Could you give us just a little bit of background of just a little bit about you, and then eventually we want to get into your past and how you became you were addicted to drugs. Do I understand?
Yes, I'm a recovering addict.
Great. So could you tell us just a little bit of your background to just to give us an idea how things were, how things are?
I guess I can start off by saying I came from a very chaotic household. Um, my father was a diagnosed schizophrenic. Um, he was also a registered sex offender, a drug addict, alcoholic. My mom, she left when I was 9 months, so I really don't know anything about her. So my grandmother raised me, um, and she did everything she could. Like she did nothing wrong. I didn't need for anything, and I barely ever wanted for anything. Um, so after I was taken out of my father's custody and given to my grandmother, we moved from here to there to here to there. I would I think my first thing was attention. Like I always seeked attention.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and no matter what it was, I would need to be the center of attention. And I've always felt like not enough or not important. And in school, I was never the popular one. I was always bullied, so of course I would try anything and everything to be in that in crowd or even that person's friend. So it all came down to just me wanting to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, me having that hole, like, that wanting to be filled. Because I really didn't have nobody to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my father was out of the picture. I never had a mother. I mean, I had my grandmom, but she was raised in different times,
Sure.
so it was just a little bit of a
There was
difference
a
there.
generation gap, so
Yeah.
to speak. But can you think back to your relationship with your dad and any bitter feelings, hard feelings you may have had in that relationship?
Yeah, I still I still have hard feelings for
Okay.
him. Um, I have chosen to cut all ties with him
Okay.
because that is what's better for my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have forgiven him for things he's
Mm-hmm.
done, but there's no need for me to go around him. Just
Right.
because I forgive somebody does not mean I need to be your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the things he did to me and the things he put my grandmother through, it's in my eyes, it's just no repairing that damage.
Is it fair to say, Heather, that he was a very negative, lasting influence in your life?
Absolutely, yes.
Can you attribute that to your drug abuse? And was that kind of the beginnings of what took you off track, if I can use that term, that eventually you started using drugs?
No, I think what now, as much as I would like to blame it on my father,
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the things I went through were at such a young age. Yeah, it's a very how how do I put this developmentally
Sure. Mm-hmm.
age
Yes.
to where you're developing, but I can't put that on him
Okay.
because he was taken out of the light and when I was like 3 or 4, and then he was reintroduced back when I was like 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen firsthand what the drugs, what the alcohol were doing. So it's not like I didn't know better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the drugs and the alcohol came into play when I just wanted to fill that hole. And I was a follower. I wasn't a leader. I was never a leader. I was a
Mm-hmm.
follower. So just to be your friend, I would do this. Just to be your friend, I would do this. And then I was dealing with a lot of loss because I've lost a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other way I know to cope is
Sure.
get high.
I think what I'm hearing, Heather, in part is you felt as if you were an outlier, an outcast, and didn't really belong. Just not sure who I am and who my friends are. I'd like to have friends, but just didn't seem like I had any, except you started mixing with the wrong crowd. Is that a fair statement?
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
At that point in your life, could you say that, hey, I just need acceptance? Almost, you're on the good side now. But if you were to look back, were you almost thinking, hey, I just need friends. I don't care what type they are. I don't even if they're bad. I just need somebody to identify with.
Absolutely. I just wanted somebody to hear me or see me.
Hmm.
Like I could be in a room with like at a party with hundreds of people and I felt like I was the only one there
Hmm.
because I felt any direction that I turned to anybody like they didn't even want me there.
Right.
So,
Now, that was an aspect of how I interpret what you just said. That was an aspect of low self confidence. I just didn't feel that I belonged and so forth. And now that you're on the recovery side, do you feel that you are repairing and building up that part of your life, that you are a, if I can use the term, renewed person, that you recognize who you used to be in the past and you're on the upswing now, that part of you?
absolutely, but that's something I'm still working on.
Hmm.
Like I still have low self-esteem. I still have low self-confidence, but it's better than it was.
Hmm.
And it's something I work on every day.
Hmm.
Um and by working the steps and talking to the people in recovery, my network, it's extremely helpful in my area.
Hmm. Take us back to the days when you were just fully addicted to drugs, and what was it that, maybe in the context of hitting rock bottom or something, was there a traumatic event or something? What was it that brought you out of, I can no longer do what I've been doing, I have to do something different?
So the first traumatic event was I guess this was like the very like I don't know. Not the very beginning, but probably the middle is when my uncle committed suicide.
Oh my.
And he kind of took the spot of my father. I
Hmm.
mean, him and his wife would take me to Disney World, they would take me to Universal Studios, they would do this. I mean, I went on family vacations, and
Hmm.
then I wake up and find out that he killed himself.
Hmm.
And like I was just like I was distraught.
Hmm.
And then after that I pretty much just went off the edge. I didn't realize it until I actually got clean, but that really broke me.
Hmm.
Um, and after that, I'm not saying it was a straight shot and everything went downhill from there, but it was slowly. But everything did go downhill from there.
Hmm.
It was slowly, but it happened.
Hmm.
Um, the last month of my using, I really don't remember much because it was really bad. Um, there's been times to where my fiance now has watched me die in front of him, and he's had to hold my limp blue body and bring me back to life with Narcan. I've lost count of my overdoses. I think the last count I had was like at 20. He's brought me from drowning from in a tub. And at that point, the family had enough. They were like, "You gotta go.
Hmm.
Well, you can't be around your children like this."
Hmm.
And at the time, I was furious, but of course now I'm like, "Thank God, my children never seen me overdose.
Mm-hmm.
They did shield them from that. But the day after I got kicked out, I went to go see my kids, and which I now know was an intervention. I didn't realize it then.
Mm-hmm.
I go back, and their aunt was like, "Well, I want you to start calling like treatment centers because I'm afraid if you don't get into a place, you're gonna die." And so I started calling treatment centers. As soon as I could get in was the next day, and she was like, "Well, try to get in today because I'm afraid if you go back out, you're gonna die." And I said, "Well, this is the best they can do." So I went out that night and I overdosed again. And the police had to knock down the public library's bathroom door.
Hmm.
And after that, I went to treatment.
Heather, one of the things I think I'm taking from your story is your uncle was a very positive influence in your life and maybe took the place of your dad. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
And when you lost him, that was devastating to you.
Yeah.
And was that a contributing factor to? And what I'm sensing is, yep, you are starting to. I mean, your uncle helped can take you up on the upswing, so to speak. At his death, man, that just you took a nosedive, and that I'm wondering now if that caused you to think back to I'm an outcast, nobody cares about me for me, and that type thing. Did you feel that way about the loss of your uncle?
Yeah. But I think when it came to my uncle dying, see, I had already started using, but I wasn't as heavy into it.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing pills here now and then, but after my uncle died, that's when it shot right to the heroin.
Mm-hmm.
So my uncle's death, I'm not blaming his death for my addiction. I just didn't know how to cope with his death.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing I knew to turn to was substances.
And here's, I think, an important aspect of this, Heather, is that what I'm hearing you say, you're responsible and accountable for choices you made,
Yes.
but it's also on the positive side are relationships.
Yeah.
That your uncle was a very positive relationship, and what happened to him did, and that caused you to make a bad decision, but you're accountable for the decision you made. You're not blaming anybody. You're totally accountable for
Well,
it.
now I'm not.
Okay. Well,
then I was.
Okay.
It was everybody else then, but now I realize.
Good.
I want to ask you, did you blame yourself when you found out that he committed suicide? Did you, some children...
I mean, there's always that thought that goes in your head. If you've ever lost a loved one to suicide, there's always that thought. Because I seen him a week prior, and he looked miserable. But he always looked miserable because he worked 50, 60 hours a week. He has 4 or 5 kids at home, and he's just running constantly. So he's always tired, and that was just his demeanor. And I didn't even say hi to him. So I think if you've ever, like I said, if you've ever lost a loved one to suicide, that thought always goes through your head is, could I have said something? Could I have saved him? Could I have caught it in time? But in all actuality, what could have I have done? I mean, his train of thoughts were already in if his own children, his own flesh and blood who's at home, couldn't do anything to save him, what was I going to do?
Sure. But there's sometimes that some of us, I had such a close relationship. What if I would have done something different? And so it's in that context sometimes we can blame ourselves for whatever happened because, gosh, I wish I would have done something different type thing. But your recovery, that had to have been a very difficult choice. I'm guessing that pretty difficult avenue for you to start on the road to, okay, I'm done with this lifestyle. It's all going to be new from a point in your life.
I can tell you that when I went into treatment, I was not done. I went into treatment to make people happy, to get them off my case.
Hmm.
I was homeless. I had nowhere to go.
Okay.
I didn't want to be there. I I thought I would die getting high
Hmm.
because that's what I love to do. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I couldn't do it on my own.
Hmm.
I absolutely couldn't. As many ways as I've tried, the maintenance, and then I've tried like weaning myself down or just quitting cold turkey. None of it helped. And then I finally came to the realization, well, this is going to be my life.
Hmm.
So hopefully, sooner than later, it'll take me out, and I just won't have to deal with this no more.
But then what, okay, you were in and out, you weren't serious about recovery at a point in your life. At what point would you say, I am dead serious about this? I cannot any longer I can't afford to have a high. It's wrong. It's something. There was something, it seems, that said that the past is done.
When I was in treatment, like when I first got to treatment, like I said, I didn't want to be there.
Hmm.
I fought it. I stayed in my room until they made me not stay in my room,
Hmm.
until they threatened to discharge me, and I couldn't afford to be discharged. I had nowhere to go.
Hmm.
So I started paying attention to the groups, to the meetings they brought in, and I started listening, and I'm like, maybe they're actually, they're going somewhere with
You're
this.
starting to hear something good from the groups, it sounds like.
Mhm.
Are you starting to have maybe a positive relationship?
With the counselors and everybody? Is that what
Counselors or other addicts that were there with you? I'm assuming you're in a group setting.
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
I'm just wondering, I'm thinking back now that you described your self-described outcast, outlier, you're bullied, and I'm not sure where I fit in life, in society, and so forth. But are these maybe the group that you're in that's starting recovery? Are these starting to be a positive influence in your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're starting a turn.
Yeah, I absolutely knew that I was where I belonged, and I definitely fit in with them.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not like one little thing when I was in treatment
Hmm.
made me focus. It's nothing I can like wrap my mind around. Like, oh, Susan came in and said this, and that's what saved my life.
Hmm.
I mean, there was one girl who came in who always stands out to me, but I'm not sure if she was the first one that I actually paid attention to, the second, third, but I just started listening.
It sounds like what you're describing, Heather, is that over a period of time, the friendships evolve. They became, hey, actually, we're growing together, and you're starting maybe to develop a purpose in life. And gosh, there is something other than what I had been doing. Have I described a little bit about what that evolving process was, albeit it may have occurred over a long period of time?
Yeah, so when I was in treatment, I was initially going to go right home. I wasn't going to go to a halfway house or anything like that.
Okay.
And then my counselor had said, he was like, how long you been using? And I said, I don't know, like 15 years on and off, something. Whether it's marijuana, heroin, drinking, it was always something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you really think a 30-day program's just going to clean your slate and you'll be all right? I said, yeah, I'll be good. But then I called home and found out I couldn't come home. So I had to rethink the situation. And they gave me a list because I was going in with funding. So they gave me a list of places because I wanted to stay in the Anne Arundel County area.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm from Baltimore. And I knew that if I went back to Baltimore, I had no chance.
Mm-hmm.
I would have ended up using and dying.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to come to Anne Arundel County, and there was a list. There's a few other ones, but then I heard some bad things about them, and I was like, nah. And then there was Evolve. So my counselor looked it up online. I saw the pictures. I read about it, and he's like, I heard really good things about them. I said, I want to go there. He's like, well, there's a waiting list. I said, well, let's get me on that list. So I stayed in treatment for like 45 days. And it's like a 28-day program because I would not go anywhere other than Evolve. And I couldn't be more grateful for them.
Great. Well, Heather, you are on the recovery side, and you have pretty obviously convinced Evolve that you are the you've overcome a lot, albeit you're still overcoming. You described earlier that your self-esteem, your self-worth, and so forth are still evolving, still climbing, and still doing well. But do I understand correctly that you are a recovery technician full-time with the Evolve Life Centers?
Yes.
And so you're an inspiration to those that are here, that probably many of, I'm guessing many who are here, can say that I can identify with what you've been through because either I'm there or something, and you're the inspiration because you've overcome all of that. You're still overcoming, but
yeah, that's what I hope to be. I know ever since I came here, and like I would see people who are in recovery and working here, I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to work here. And I know that even if it's just one person or something that I've went through, even if I help just one person, I'm happy. Because if I help them, then they can help somebody, and they can help somebody, so on and so forth, so on and so forth.
But my guess is, Heather, there was a part of your life where I don't give a rip if I help anybody or not. My addiction to drugs is all that matters.
Absolutely.
But say that there was a point in your life where you were self-centered in my addiction, my habits, my high, my whatever, and fill in the blanks. But now it's I can help someone else.
Yes. So I am like really big on like being of service. Like if I can help, I'm there.
Yeah.
Like if I'm asked to share a meeting, I'm there. If my sponsor calls me and asks me to do something, I'm there. I was offered a management position in a recovery house, and I'm there. So anything, and my sponsor is really big on service, so I think that's where I got it from. So.
Great. Heather, you're an inspiration to a lot of people that you have overcome, albeit you're still overcoming, but you're a work in progress. I use that term, but I mean it's a very positive work in progress. Do you feel like you are just that?
Absolutely.
Great. I can see the smile on your face. My guess is perhaps some number of years ago you wouldn't have had the smile that you have now.
Oh, absolutely not. I was miserable and I just didn't want to live another day.
Okay.
I was just bitter and ashamed of what I was doing, but I couldn't stop it. And I couldn't stop on my own. And anytime I heard that, I really didn't understand people. Like, before I was in, like, this massive addiction, people were like, oh, I can't stop my own. Like, what are you talking about? Just stop doing what you're doing. And now I hear people say that, I'm like, oh. It just makes my skin crawl because I've been through it and now I know.
But in using that term, just stop, is it fair to say that as an addict, you just, no. It's rare that you can just stop?
Yeah, I don't think I've met one that can just stop.
Sure. So here's what I'm learning, that through friendships, feeling you belong, when someone's there to help you, that you'll eventually overcome. It's probably not going to be, it won't necessarily be this day, this time, that person, boom, stopped. But it evolved over maybe a period of time.
Yes. There's there's all these little cliche sayings in NA, but there's one that you didn't become addicted in one day.
Mhm.
So easy does it. Because we didn't become addicted in one day. And we're not going to regain everything in one day.
Mhm.
So easy does it.
Right.
Baby steps. That's what
Okay.
my sponsor says. Baby steps.
Good deal.
Good.
Heather, again, congratulations, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people. So thank
Thank
you for sharing your story.
Thank you.